1972, the company of Laroche released a fragrance called Drakkar, which would revolutionize the company and really start off their fragrance journey. Although due to its poor sales, it actually got discontinued pretty quickly. And if you want to snag a bottle these days, you've got to be considered really, really lucky. Although in 1981, the company Laroche decided to release a flanker called Drakkar Noir. Apologies for the poor lighting, guys. Here's what my bottle looks like. This fragrance is pretty much a staple, I think, in anyone's collection. I think if you're really into fragrance, this is a scent that is worth looking up the history on, and it's really worth falling in love with because it's a really famous scent. It's with it coming out in 1981, it's really stood the test of time. It's really just a timeless DNA that, yes, it's been replicated a lot in fragrances, especially in the 80s, but it's a fragrance that is really popular, and even to this day, people consider it a really good scent. So let's get to reviewing Drakkar Noir. So there's been quite a few flankers to this fragrance. There was Dynamic, which came out in the 90s. Then they released Essence. And then, of course, this year there is a new version, which quite a lot of reviewers have already reviewed, called Drakkar Intense. Now, it's a fragrance that I really want, and it's a fragrance that I'm going to definitely check out one of these days, but I wanted to really shine some light on a fragrance that has been in my collection from the very beginning, and of course it's Drakkar Noir. Now, this fragrance is amazing. First of all, it's an amazing scent. I've really been into this scent for, like I said, from the very start of my journey. I remember getting this from a place called Boots, and it was a store that I was working in at the time. And I've had this bottle for about 7 or 8 years now, and it's probably about down to there. Of course, with me not being able to see inside the bottle, it's hard to really determine how much juice is left, but I'm probably just about down here, so I need to get myself another bottle of this. Now, what can I really tell you about this fragrance? Well, it's an aromatic fougere, I would say. Came out in 1981. It was created by a perfumer called Pierre Wagner. I think that's how he pronounced his name. I haven't actually looked at what other fragrances he's created. I actually just discovered that he had made this fragrance because this is a scent that I haven't actually looked a lot up on Fragrantica for. I've really just judged this fragrance blindly. I've always thought it was a really nice citrus, lavender sort of scent. And after really recently going on Fragrantica, I've found that it has, in fact, those notes. Now, of course, I will post the notes down here, and we'll talk about the fragrance right now. So, of course, I've sprayed it on there, but I'm going to respray it here on my hand so we can judge the opening, and then we can judge the dry down right now. So, straight away, when you first spray this fragrance, it takes you back, you know. It certainly has this timeless quality to it. The overall impression of the fragrance is that it's a very clean scent, so you really do get this clean, powdery, very inviting, casual fragrance. The lavender in this is divine, so if you like lavender, this is an awesome fragrance for you. Sometimes lavender's a bit hit and miss for me, but I own quite a few lavender fragrances, and they are good. I mean, lavender is one of the most popular notes in perfumery, and most of the time it works really well, but sometimes it can be a mess, depending on how it's been blended. Now, with Drakkar Noir, with this being such an old fragrance, it's been reformulated so many times, so it'll smell different depending on which batch you get. You know, I've heard that the original batch, the vintage batch, opened up very mossy, and it had this very strong patchouli note, which of course it still has, although it's turned down compared to what it used to be. This version that I have right here is, when I smell it, it opens up with this lavender. You also get this lemon verbena. It's floral, although there is of course a lemon note in here as well. But it isn't fresh. This is definitely straight away a powdery, clean, citrusy scent in the opening, in all fairness. It also does have this aromatic side to it, like I said before, with the lavender and all the other flowers. I believe there's jasmine in here also. But what really makes this fragrance for me, like I said, it's really just that lavender and the citrus in the opening. But as it's drying down, you get a fir note. And that fir note, of course, it's derived from pine. So you do get a pine kind of smell from this. It's not like a polo green pine or anything like that, or any other dominated pine fragrance. The pine is very... It's mellow. It's a very mellow pine, but really what this fragrance is about, it's all about the lavender and the citrus. There is, of course, oak moss in the dry down, which I do get a little bit of. It gives me that earthy quality. And overall, it really is just a fine fragrance. I think it's one of those fragrances that I don't think anyone will really dislike. You will get compliments on this fragrance, even in today's day and age, in 2022. You will get compliments. I can imagine this smelling amazing when it first came out in 1981. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what people must have thought about this. But of course, due to reformulations, it has had to be toned down due to, some ingredients being illegal now, like real ingredients. Companies will tend to use synthetic ingredients to replicate how it used to smell. And in this, I think that is the case. But it is still an amazing fragrance. I just love everything to do with it. The bottle is really cool. This is a 50ml, by the way. It comes in a few sizes. I think you can get a 30ml, 50, 100ml, and you can even get a 200ml size, which is really, really cool. But yeah, I just thought I'd shine some light on this fragrance. It isn't one of my most favorite fragrances of all time, but I really can appreciate it because, of course, the time it came out, 1981, I think it's personally a very ahead of its time fragrance. This is the type of scent that you could imagine being released maybe in the late 80s or early 90s, but 1981, as we all know, in case you didn't know, fragrances were very, very macho. There was a lot of earthy notes, animalic notes in fragrances. It's just a very well-rounded fragrance. I would really highly recommend it. I think if you're into fragrances that can remind you of stepping out of a shower, but not like a shower gel fragrance, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you like the smell of cleanliness and, casualness, you don't want to smell like, a gourmand fragrance. You don't want to smell over the top. Drakkar Noir is an unbelievable choice. And what's amazing about this fragrance as well is it's cheap as chips. Cheap as chips. You can get a 50ml bottle of this online or in any store, I think, for like less than £20. I think this, when I got it at the time, I think I paid around $14.99 for this, which is incredible. And even the 100ml is only like over £20. So, it's great value for money. I couldn't tell you what the prices are anywhere else in the world. I just know these prices, of course, because I'm living in the UK. And to me, the prices are very reasonable. And I think the fragrance itself is it's perfect. It's a perfect fragrance. I think it works nighttime. I think it works daytime. I think it has a great longevity as well. The sillage is amazing, but it's perfect because it works day and nighttime. So, if you want to wear a fragrance through the day and smell fresh, not fresh, but, like clean and seductive, kind of, I think this is the fragrance for you. So yeah, guys, that's really all I have to say about Drakkar Noir. It's a great everyday, every night fragrance. Would highly recommend it. Thanks all for watching this review. Keep smelling good. And also, I just want to say, before I end the video, thank you all so much for the 5,000 subscribers. I mean, I've been on YouTube for 8 years, and I never even thought I'd make it past 2,000 or even 1,000. Yeah, I'm very, very, very honoured. So thank you, guys, and I'll see you all in the next clip. Keep smelling good. Bye for now.